going on, man? CHARLIEINTHEBOX. Check it out. Look what I got. My box today is going to be understanding government. Let's get this started. Okay, check it out. Look at what I kind of realized today in America. Americans really don't understand government as a whole, or what governments actually do to their citizens. See, we as Americans, as a constitutional republic, we have the best devised government for checks and balances. What that means is that the government can't do stuff that you can't do. They can't spend more money than they bring in, or freedom and liberty to the people, and the government is held back by its constitution of getting out of the Americans' people way and letting them pursue happiness or own business, or to strike it rich if they want to never cut off those avenues. But governments always impose tyranny on the people. It doesn't matter what kind of government you have. See, there's a lot of different forms of government, people. So we need to try to figure out what kind of government we have today in America. Because we don't have a constitutional republic no more. But let's look at other countries and other governments and see what the hell's freaking going on. And then we'll figure out what's happening in America. So you have democracy, and most people think that we live under democracy. But what is a democracy, and what kind of governments are living under it? Okay, democracy is if 51% of the people vote on it, the other 49 eat shit. But democracies, throughout the test of time, never stand. It never pans out for the average freaking person. And what kind of government is a democracy today? Mexico's a democracy, but people leave that country in the thousands every freaking day to come to freaking America, people. So I don't think democracies work. Then you got a socialist societies, where government provides all these socialist programs to their citizens, because it's like a piñata game. It's a piñata with all kinds of good stuff in it, and give all the citizens a freaking whack at it. Yeah, freaking whack at it. And they get the treats that fall out, because not working all the time feels pretty good. You see, free healthcare, that sounds pretty good. Free food, bring it on. Free education, bring it on. And you know what I'm saying? There's no consequences to that. But look at Greece today. They're socialists. They borrowed all kinds of freaking money, and they gave their freaking citizens, and hold on. Okay, they promised their freaking citizens all kinds of stuff, right? But they don't have the means, the money to pay for it anymore. Their creditors don't want to let them borrow money no more, and their country is financially collapsing right now under your freaking nose, but Americans don't even pay attention to what's happening over there. Well, their citizens are going to pay the consequences to the socialist programs that they implemented in their country. They're going to suffer. They're going to go hungry. Greece, socialism. Then you got communism. Well, look at Russia, how frickin' it was really good for those frickin' people, right? The Kostafi and their big-ass government that told the frickin' citizens what they can and cannot have. And you know what? You want to tell the frickin' people the truth because of the tyranny their government's imposing on them? Bam! They got the highest rate of frickin' murders of journalists in the world, people. Because you ain't gonna know the truth. And you better shut up, because you'll get silenced too. Communism. Doesn't work for the citizens, people. Government controlling every aspect of your freaking life, all industries, schools, and everything. China's a communist country, but how do they freaking run their government? How do they run their freaking country with their freaking natural resources? They have a mining company, and then thousands of workers or hundreds of workers get trapped in the mine. But the first thing they think of as a government is, how much is it going to cost us to save them? Is it going to be cheaper to open up another mine and throw more people in it? Yeah, well, let's go that way. Forget about them. They have a one-child policy in China. Most people want a son. Why? Because it carries on the family name. So if you have a daughter, you could abort her at the bucket, but throw it in the bucket and drown that little kid. It's a freaking baby. It's a human. Say that you have a second child. You have a first one, it's a boy, but you ended up having a second one because you want a daughter. Well, if the government finds out, they'll come and take that child from you, take it and kill it off. Communism, people, it doesn't pan out for the frickin' citizens. You got a monarchy like over there in Europe. And they say, you know what, we love you guys. You're our servants, right? Because I'm the king, queen, and you're the frickin' peasant. But we're going to sprinkle with you a little bit of rights, give you the opportunity to vote, so we'll create parliament. But whenever they want to abolish their frickin' rights that they gave, and they want to abolish their frickin' parliament, they say, you know what I say rules this frickin' land. That's what's going to happen, people. You're a frickin' peasant. That's a monarchy. Then you got dictatorships, you got oligarchies, and a lot of the other forms of government. But they never freaking pan out for the freaking average person. So now what's happening in freaking America and what kind of government we have in our freaking countries? We have a constitutional republic, but we've abandoned it a long freaking time ago. See, when we broke away from freaking Europe, people wanted to destroy this country right from the freaking beginning. And they started a very long time ago. So today in America, we've abandoned a country of laws, not of men. And we accepted a country of men, not of laws. Our government officials have thrown us under the bus. And how could you see what they're doing? And the writing's on the wall. You got the National Defense Authorization Act, which wiretaps you, no, actually detains you and locks you up or kills you if they want to. You got the Patriot Act that wiretaps your phone, gills into your house without a freaking warrant, taking away your liberties. You have a government in America that promises you all these socialized freaking programs that they're going to take care of you from cradle to grave. When you're born, first 5, we'll pay for your schooling because education's a right. We'll pay for your house and your health care and give Social Security when you're dying. Health care, free health care. Like a socialist society. They take away your constitutional rights like a communist society. They give you the opportunity to vote. But do you want to be in the war? No, but we go anyways. Do you want to bail out the mortgage companies and the banks because they make bad decisions? No, but they do it anyways. You say you don't want gay marriage and you get to vote, but they want to push it anyways. There's laws that govern everybody equally in this country, from the president on down, because that's your constitution. But is it implemented like that? No. Insider trading. Martha Stewart couldn't do it, you can't do it, but Congress can? What kind of country do you live in, America? In America, you have opportunity to vote, but does your vote count? Only if they want to allow it. Remember I told you about the monarchy? The king and queen? Remember George Bush? The Florida votes didn't count. Free education. Why do they want to promise you free education, your government? Why? Because the way they're going to do it is take over the educational system. Department of Education. Because these states are doing really good and these ones are doing really bad. Well, let's lower those ones down. Oh, actually, no, they told you let's hire those ones up because we're going to get all these good programs and implement it all across the country. But in reality, what happened, it dumbed their schools down and they got over the freaking power and they're teaching your kids today that socialism, communism, Marxism is a good thing. Your constitutional republic and your founding fathers, don't listen to those guys. We have, since 9/11, a lot of tyranny upon its citizens in the name of freedom and liberty and safety. So we got the Department of Homeland Security to take care of America so no terrorist act come over to our shores ever again. But they keep an open border. Terrorists come over this country to the southern tip of our border in the thousands every freaking year. You got illegal aliens coming over here in the thousands every freaking year. Tons of drugs come over from the southern tip of our border every freaking year. But are they securing your borders? Are they stopping those terrorists from coming in? No. But that's why they're passing the NDAA and the 8th Patriot Act to keep you safe, America. They have sleeper cells in our country today. And they know when it's the right time to freaking act, the hammer slaps down, just like 9/11. But is the Department of Homeland Security taking care of that? The Department of Justice says that, you know what, one set of rules govern all of us. But Fast and Furious, your government got caught shipping in freaking hundreds of thousands of guns to the Mexican drug cartel, and they came back to our border and killed some of our guys that protect us, our border patrol and our sheriffs. But today, you tell me, if you have a gun illegally, are they going to try to go after you for it? If you try to trade guns illegally, are they going to slam the freaking hammer down on you? Doesn't seem like it's working for the average person. So today in America, what do we have? Do we have a constitutional republic that governs all people equally? Or do we have a democracy where you get to vote, but you know what? Your vote doesn't really count. You got a socialist society that they're going to promise you all these socialist programs, but you're not going to pay the consequences like the people in Europe, in Greece. Or do you live in a communist society where, you know what, the corporations tell the government what to do, and the unions are taking care of its citizens? That sounds like a communist society. Unions came from communism. Bigger government controlling all the industries, that's communism. It doesn't work for the average person. A dictator seems like, you know what, we're going to get rid of Congress and we're going to have a super Congress. It's really unconstitutional. You shouldn't be doing it. They pass laws every freaking year that is so unconstitutional, putting foreign troops on our soil, getting our military to police our citizens, putting drones in our air to watch you. All unconstitutional bills, laws, mandates, regulations. But they implement it on you, America. What kind of country do you live under? How do we fight back against this anywhere throughout the world? But how do we as Americans are different from all those other ones? Because we have a fighting chance. We had the warnings. We have the answers. Well, we're not being taught it because remember the educational system. Don't teach that to them. Don't tell them about that. Or don't listen to that. Don't look at it. Your founding fathers, they put this constitutional republic today for the average person like me and you. And they warned us by their writings and their literature and what they said to warn us about our governments and what governments do to their citizens. But you don't want to read the writings. You don't want to listen to them anymore. But how do we get the power back? It is your Constitution, the warnings and what they did for us with the Declaration of Independence, our Bill of Rights, and our Constitution. To hold back said government of tyranny and liberty that cannot take away from the people. You cannot do that to the people. That's what your Constitution says. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. Da, 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 da. Cannot come into my house without a warrant or detain me. Proven innocent until proven guilty. We've abandoned that. And God in our lives. Our founding fathers knew it. We had to be taught these things in our schools. Bring them back into our lives. Let God govern us. Let the Constitution control your government. And freedom and liberty to the people. Treat other people with respect and love each other. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. That's what God promises. That's what liberty and rights and your constitutional republic promises. All this stuff doesn't need to happen. All this tyranny doesn't need to happen. But we have to get this infection, this cancer out of communism, socialism, Marxism, out of this country. See, a lot of people in our country believe that government is the answer. Government is the freaking problem, people. They are the problem. How much time do you go to the DMV just to get your tags? Name one government agency, the Social Security Department, the Healthcare Department, or wherever you go, that is so easy and it really worked out for the average person. Or do you fear every time when these people knock at your door? When you need to pay your taxes in April? See, people, the way I figured it out, I know, is to educate ourselves, to empower the people like me and you. And that's how we take back our country. That's how we get all this oppression out, this big government out of here. That's how we fix things. Government is not the answer, they are the problem. So I ask you to do the same thing. Educate yourself, enrich your heart. Educate the people, your family members, your friends, your co-workers, the community. And bring that power back from government into our local communities and in our house. Talking about the issues, really sitting down and having an adult conversation. We fix these problems. But as long as you don't want to admit it, as long as you don't want to deal with it, all you're doing is passing it on to your freaking kids. Getting them to deal with it, getting them to fix the problem. But in reality, they look for us to do that. That's why I told you, John Adams said, well, I'm going to study politics and war. Benjamin Franklin said, I gave you a republic if you could keep it. George Washington said, government is like fire. If you don't control it, it's going to burn you. We have the answers. We got the freaking blueprint. We know how we could do it. But it's believing and understanding it and educating yourself and understanding what government does as a whole, how we fight back against it. Knowing what kind of government you're living under today in America and what you're sacrificing when you accept this global government. You think you're going to have rights at the end of it? You want to adopt communism, you want to adopt socialism, Marxism, and you think you're going to have rights at the end of it? It doesn't work like that. you want rights, you want liberty, you want freedom, you want things to get better, understand your republic. Understand government. I know a lot of people go to church and it says that in the end God's going to abolish all forms of government. And it ain't going to be like that, because you know what? You guys failed and you didn't do it right. Because it says it in the Bible, end times are coming. But we don't know when he's coming. We don't know when that's going to happen. So we are governed by governments today. So we need to start understanding government. We need to start knowing it and talk about these issues. Talk about God. Talk about government. And bring these issues up for it. Because as long as you don't, you keep hiding behind the scenes, things are just going to get worse and never going to get better. So I told you guys every freaking time. If you're not going to do everything in power, restore your life, liberty, and this country, baby, you do everything in power to destroy it. CHARLIEINTHEBOX out.